Welcome to the Ohio State Legal Services Association's Family Law Video Project. This video was made possible through the generous support of the Ohio Legal Assistance Foundation, and the content was created by Southeastern Ohio Legal Services and the Legal Aid Society of Columbus. The video you are about to watch will guide you through some of the forms that you will need to file in Ohio courts when you want a divorce, or you need to respond to a divorce your husband or wife filed. The information we provide is not legal advice and does not create a lawyer-client relationship with you. We cannot guarantee any specific outcome in your case, and we are not responsible for any errors on your form. You should hire a lawyer if you can afford one, especially if your divorce case is complicated. This may mean that you and your spouse do not agree on custody of your children, you own real estate, you have a lot of property to divide, you or your spouse have retirement accounts, your spouse hired a lawyer, or if one spouse has a much higher income than the other spouse. If you need a lawyer or specific advice about your case, you have several options. If you are low income, you can contact your local legal aid program. If you need information about which legal aid covers your community, call the following number. Many communities also have pro bono clinics where low-income people can talk to a volunteer lawyer. Your local legal aid program will have a list of clinics near you. Finally, if you can afford a lawyer, you should reach out to your local bar association for a lawyer referral. The forms you will be completing can all be found online on the Ohio Supreme Court website here. The forms available online may be completed in Microsoft Word or PDF form on a computer. If you are not able to complete them on a computer, you can handwrite the forms. Be sure to print as clearly as possible and always use a pen. Some courts require you to use a pen with blue ink or black ink, so you may want to check with your local clerk of courts on ink requirements before you fill out the forms. Note that just because the Supreme Court is providing these forms, you will be filing them in your local courts, not the Supreme Court. This is not the only form you will need to complete. At the end of this video, you will see a list of forms that you will need to fill out if you are filing a divorce or if you are responding to a divorce complaint. If you complete and file the Supreme Court forms listed, that should be enough to get your divorce case started or respond to a divorce complaint. However, your local court may require you to also complete additional forms. Keep in mind that you might be watching each video more than once, as sometimes you will need to gather additional information that you don't have on hand during the first attempt.
This video will cover how to complete a request for service form as part of your divorce case. For a divorce case, you usually only need to file this form with a complaint. This form tells the clerk of court how to serve the other parties, which means how the court documents should be delivered to the other people involved in the case. At the top of the first page, you should see the phrase, "In the Court of Common Pleas." On the second line, write in the name of the county where your divorce complaint is being filed. For a divorce case, you can leave the line below, "In the matter of blank." Next, you should fill in the names of the plaintiff and the defendant. Write your current address on the lines below your name. If you do not want your spouse to know your current address due to safety concerns, you should talk to an attorney. Review the information at the beginning of this video on how to find a lawyer or legal clinic. Write your spouse's current address on the lines below his or her name. Having your spouse's current address is very important for this form. If you do not have your spouse's address, you should do your best to find it by thinking of friends and family who may know it. If you have taken steps to find your spouse's address and you still can't find it, you should talk to a lawyer about what to do next. Next, below the court name and to the right, you can leave the lines for case number, judge, and magistrate blank if you are filing this form with your divorce complaint. The clerk of court will assign these when you file. On the line below request for service, list all of the documents you want the other people who will be involved in the case to receive. Next, check the boxes for who you want the clerk of court to deliver the documents to. If you are the plaintiff, you should check the box next to defendant/petitioner at the address shown above. Next, choose how you want the documents to be delivered to the defendant. Most of the time, the certified mail return receipt requested option is best. If you think you may need to serve the other party a different way, you should talk to a lawyer. If you are the defendant, you should check the box next to plaintiff/petitioner at the address shown above. If there are children involved in the case, you should check the box next to blank County Child Support Enforcement Agency. Write the name of the county where you're filing for divorce or where you believe child support will be involved. Find the address for the County Child Support Agency and write it on the line. If there are other people who should be served with a copy of the documents, check the box next to Other and write in the name and address. If you are asking the clerk of court to have the sheriff deliver the documents and you think that you need special instructions for the sheriff, write those instructions on the lines. Sign on the line at the bottom of the second page.
You have reached the end of this video. Remember that if you still have questions about how to fill out the forms for your specific situation, you should talk to a lawyer. If you need a lawyer or specific advice about your case, you have several options. If you are low income, you can contact your local legal aid program. If you need information about which legal aid covers your community, call the following number. Many communities also have pro bono clinics where low-income people can talk to a volunteer lawyer. Your local legal aid program will have a list of clinics near you. Finally, if you can afford a lawyer, you should reach out to your local bar association for a lawyer referral. Remember that this is not the only form you will need. Here is a list of the forms you will need if you are filing a divorce or if you are defending or responding to a divorce. If you complete your forms and wait a period of time before you file the forms, it is your responsibility to check the Supreme Court website to make sure that there were no changes to the forms since you first completed them.